Hey folks, welcome back. Good to see you. Today we've got another VHS thrift haul for you guys. Yeah, some pretty decent stuff yet again, so let's get to it right away. First up, guys, I never had this one in the collection. Pretty good flick. Stripes with Bill Murray, John Candy, PJ Souls, Harold Ramis, Warren Oates. Oh yeah, music by Elmer Bernstein. I always liked him. Ivan Reitman film, of course. I think this one was from like, what year was this one, guys? I want to say 82 or 83, but I feel like it's earlier. 81. But yeah, John Candy was good in this thing too. This one here is pretty good shape, actually. So yeah, there it is. Just to kick it off there. Stripes, like I said, I didn't have this one in a collection. So I thought I'd throw it in there. Next up, just found this one floating around in the free pile, actually. And this is California Hunk. Bradley Brinkman made a devil of a deal. Now he's America's hottest piece of beachfront property. You guys probably remember the cover of this one with the little license plate there. I don't really know much about this. I may have seen this a long time ago, but it doesn't really sound like the name sounds familiar, but I'm not really sure what it's about even. But yeah, it looks kind of like a sex comedy starring Deborah Shelton of Dallas, former Miss USA. But I do like it. It's the old RCA tape. So I've got that on the one side and then the logo on the other. But a decent one. I'll probably pop this in because, like I said, I vaguely remember the title, but I have not. I don't recall it. So we'll give it a shot. Now, one that I really like, guys. This is a great one. John Cryer in Dudes. I'm not a big John Cryer guy, but this flick is really good. And this one is also stars. Oh yeah, Lee Ving, Daniel Roebuck. This is Charles Bernstein. Music by that was Elmer. I don't know if Elmer and Charles are brothers. I'm not sure, but there we go. Dudes, guys, from the director of The Decline of American Western Civilization and Suburbia. Just an all-around cool pick. I actually found this soundtrack on cassette not too long ago as well. Dudes is a powerful action adventure that will rock a generation, starring two of the hottest young actors, John Cryer and Daniel Roebuck. The two city street kids, along with their best friend, head west for the good life in California. Only two of them make it. On the way, the threesome come across a vicious biker gang and a pistol-packing beauty who take them from heaven to hell in this story of restless youth and killer reality. Yeah, I remember seeing this thing quite a few times back in the day. A decent flick. Really surprised to find this tape. Pretty excited about it too. The old IVE tape there. So definitely a cool find on that one. Pretty excited about it. Like I said, the soundtrack is great, and I was really lucky to find that on cassette, which is probably pretty rare, you know, today, right? All right, here's one that the title caught me. I've never seen it. A better film than The Usual Suspects. Well, that's a pretty big stretch, I would say. Just guessing here, but two cats, one car, and a world of hurt. Blood, guts, bullets, and octane. Look at this. I liked some of these 90s, this might even be like a 2000s. 90s movies. It's kind of 97. A hilarious black comedy. So, I don't know if you guys have seen this one. Let me know in the comments below because I think I might give it a watch unless you guys say it's absolutely terrible. Well, then it might even be okay. But, yeah, let me know, guys, in the comments below if you've seen this one. Because I'm kind of looking forward to checking it out. Anyways, that's Blood, Guts, Bullets, and Octane. Yeah, so sounds like an interesting one. Let's get it back in the case. All right. It'll knock you flat. Donnie Darko. Now again, some of these newer tapes, you know, I think I have the DVD of this kicking around somewhere. But, you know, I don't really need to pick up the VHS, but this one was kind of a cool flick. I thought, you know, it'd be kind of neat. You know, I don't even remember it. You know, it's such a more recent flick, if you will. Really, what, 2001? So a few years before VHS was discontinued, but I figured it's worth maybe having this one in the collection. Just because of the movie, right? It's pretty good. If you haven't seen Donnie Darko, guys, give it a look. I won't get into it too much. It's quite the story. An all-star cast in a classic psychological thriller. Written and directed by Richard Kelly, Drew Barrymore, Jenna Malone, Catherine Ross, Jake Gyllenhaal. He was really good in this too. I kind of like that guy. I thought, the newer kind of younger actors, the last 15 years or so. Like, he's good. Yeah, I really like him. He has some really creepy characters, and he's quite awesome. The one I really like of his is what the hell is it now? Prisoners. Whew. Great flick. If you haven't seen Prisoners, guys, check that one out. Really good. So anyways, there you go. Prisoners, yeah, him and I think Hugh Jackman are in that. An interesting story. Somebody a couple weeks ago actually told me I look like Hugh Jackman, and I don't really see it. Maybe the eyes, I'm not really sure, but this guy's like, oh my God, I was at IKEA, and the guy's like, yeah, you really, you look like. I said, I don't know, I've heard Quentin Tarantino and stuff like this, which I don't really see either. But no, he's quite adamant. He's like, oh yeah, you definitely look like him. I'm like, oh my God, I don't know, the guy's older than I am. I hope I don't look like him. But maybe the eyes, I don't know. Let me know in the comments below if that's true. Who knows? I don't see it. But if you haven't seen Prisoners with Hugh Jackman and Jake Gyllenhaal, definitely worth checking out. Another one I like here, guys, that I picked up is The Ninth Gate. Now, I've got this in a couple different formats. But this is a Roman Polanski film. Say what you will about him, but I've always liked his movies for the most part. Like, I've seen pretty much all of them. And yeah, I find that his movies are quite enjoyable. One I really, really like, though, is an old black and white. I guess is it black and white or sepia tone? No, it's black and white. Is Knife in the Water, which is a really good one of his. If you haven't seen it, I would check that one out as well. It's an older flick, like old. I mean, like 60s maybe. Is that about right? But or maybe 70s. I can't remember. But it's a good movie, definitely. And those old period ones of his back in the day are all quite enjoyable. So if you get a chance to check them out, I had a collector's box of his with all his movies, and I don't know where it is. I have no idea what I've done with it. I have like a binder full of like director's stuff. I'll have to take a look for it. But there's some great ones in there. But yeah. Sadly, I don't have that anymore. Anyways, Ninth Gate, decent flick. It's about this guy who's, kind of been hired to, not hired, but he's just, as a rare book collector who goes and looks for the last remaining copies of the 9 Gates of the Shadow Kingdom, a demonic manuscript that can summon the devil. And then, he kind of becomes involved in this conspiracy and murder and things like that, and ends up ultimately, confronting the devil himself. So it's pretty good. Johnny Depp's good in this. I can sometimes take him or leave him, but this is a good movie, guys, if you haven't seen it. Ninth Gate. All right, here's one I like. I'm a big Dickie Gear fan. American Gigolo. Great flick. This guy rules, man. I mean, seriously. What can you say? It's a Paul Schrader film. I like Paul Schrader. 1980. Who was the girl in this one? Lauren Hutton. Good Lord. Was it? Oh my God, it was. Produced by Jerry Bruckheimer. Man, this guy was kicking around back then. Kicking around with Paul Schrader. Roger Ebert gives it 3.5. If you haven't seen that one, check that one out, guys. Another one, double bill if you want. This is one of my favorite pictures of all time. Just kind of cool, quirky. It's not the greatest movie, but it's a lot of fun. I like it. Breathless. This was a really, really good one. Valerie Kaprisky. Woohoo! Boy, oh boy. She's quite the looker in this one. I would definitely check this one out too, guys. If you haven't seen Breathless, I've got a few copies of this. I actually got a Blu-ray of this, which is, I don't want to say rare, but it's, it's fairly, it's put out by Shout. Maybe they re-released it. Kit Carson and everything is in this thing. But I love this flick. Definitely good. Racy, just kind of romantic and cool, kind of like Wild at Heart-ish, but not maybe as good as Wild at Heart or something like True Romance. But definitely worth a look, guys, if you haven't seen that one. Check them both out. American Gigolo, Breathless. All right, we're getting down here. Nice red tape. Sliver. Goes beyond basic instinct. Super sexy, super stylish, super suspenseful. And a track from UB40 in the soundtrack, if I recall. You like to watch, don't you? Yeah, it's good. I mean, I like this one. That's it's pretty good. I kind of like these erotic thrillers back in the day. This was like, what was this one? 93, eh? Okay. Who else was in this? Music by Howard Shore. Yeah, Martin Landau, Tom Berenger. That's right, he was in this too. But William Baldwin, Sharon Stone, of course. Definitely a good one. I love this red, cool tape, and I wonder how they decide to invest the money in like a movie like this. I mean, I don't know if it costs extra, but like why they would go out and put this in a red thing. But I certainly love it. Great one from the the 90s kind of erotic thriller kind of style. A little more mainstream erotic thriller though. There's no like Kerry Warrer or Shannon Wurry or Julie Strain or anything in this, but Sharon Stone was kind of like the classy version of that, I suppose. But give that one a check. And then one I really dig is Woody Harrelson and Demi Moore and Robert Redford, Indecent Proposal, and this one's got a green tape in it. Check that out. I mean, how good is that? A lot of fun. Maybe that was just a thing they were doing back then. I think this is around the same time too. Yeah, 93. So, but the interesting thing about this one, it's an Adrian Lyne film too. So another one that I really like of Adrian Lyne is Lolita, of course. Just happen to have that sitting right here. This is like a UK import. I don't know if this is region B, but it plays in my all-region player. Man, I love this movie, man. It's kind of creepy. But, what a great story, well portrayed. Dominic Swain in this is great. Jeremy Irons is fantastic, and Melanie Griffith, if you haven't seen that one. But, definitely, Indecent Proposal is one of Adrian Lyne's good flicks, too. But, yeah, we went and saw this. I went and saw this with a couple of roommates back in the day, and I remember going to the theater, and we got there late. We'd had a couple of cocktails. Had to sit right in the front row of this thing, and I don't like sitting in the front row. Some guys do. I don't like sitting there, with my neck looking up at the screen. And, I mean, it's great to see Demi Moore up close like that, but I mean, do you have to be that close? But sadly, we had to sit in the front row, and my buddy had spent the night over at our house the night before, and he wears contact lenses, and so he had to take them out. We didn't have any solution, so I told him, well, put your lenses in this Visine that we had kicking around. And so he did that. And he put them in just before we went to see the movie. And his eyes were burning so bad by the time we walked to the theater. Had a couple more pops on the way. Got to the theater, sitting in the front row, and all of a sudden his eyes were crying, and he was in so much pain. And so he said, man, I got to get out of here. So being the friends that we were, we gave him the keys to our apartment and sent him back. We should have probably went with him at the time, but we didn't. And so we stayed for the whole movie. He walked all the way home, stumbled home, I guess. And then we came back. He was passed out on the couch. He had this like blue kind of lamp we had, so the whole room was lit blue, and the curtains were blowing. It was quite, it was like a Michael Mann scene. And listening to I Will Always Love You on repeat from the Bodyguard soundtrack. So that was just kind of a thing that always stuck with me. Pretty, convoluted story there. But, I always thought that was kind of amusing. And I always kind of associated that with this picture here. But, if you ever do that to your friends, make sure you walk them home. Don't make them go home alone and watch the film by yourself, because you're just a jerk. Looking back. But there you go. Indecent Proposal, guys. All right, that was just a little word of advice for you. And another one, Demi Moore and Michael Douglas, Disclosure. This is another classic. Right in that same, I think this was 92, this one. 94, okay. Right in that wheelhouse there. And, basically, this one, the same kind of thing. It's kind of a suspense thriller. Not really erotic thriller, but like a romantic, it's kind of an erotic thriller, but not like Cinemax erotic thriller. Donald Sutherland's in this thing, Michael Douglas. Definitely a good picture too. This one's pretty, she's pretty hardcore in this, actually, now that I think about it. Pretty conniving and vindictive in this thing. I love it. So check that one out, guys. And a couple more here. One that I have not heard of is called Lies. I don't know what the hell this one is. Directed by Ken and Jim Wheat. Oh, Clu Gulager's in it. Bruce Davison. Was he the director of? No, was he the director of X-Ray? Oh, that's David Boaz, something like that. Gail Strickland and Dusenberry is Lies. This is like an old key videotape. Pretty awesome. I'm gonna have to check it out. I'm not really familiar with this one. Something about somebody in a psychological thriller set against the backdrop of a secluded mental institution. You can't. I mean, you know, anything with a mental institution and stuff like that, you gotta rent it. You gotta not rent it. You gotta pick up the used tape from your thrift shop. ABC Video. I don't know. We'll give this one a look. If you guys seen this, let me know in the comments below, because it sounds like maybe it might be a good one. I have not seen it, so I'd love to hear more if you guys have seen any of these actually, and what your thoughts are on some of these flicks. Last but not least, we got one more here. Didn't think I'd ever find this. Can't say I was really looking for it. Can't say it's my favorite of the series. It certainly couldn't be the favorite of the series of anybody, because this movie is not good, sadly. But a great cover. Jason Goes to Hell. I think that completes my collection. I might be still missing part. What the hell am I missing? Yeah, I'm still missing part Manhattan. God damn it. Gotta get Manhattan up in there. I don't know. I love Manhattan. Special Collector's Edition. I'm pretty sure that was the only edition they released. But Jason Goes to Hell. I don't know. There's nothing you can say about it. But it's cool. It's got an embossed cover. You know, the creator of the first returns to bring you the last. Yeah. Well, it seems to me Jason X came after this, as well as Freddy vs. Jason, and in the Jason remake, which I didn't mind. A lot of people thought it was terrible. I didn't mind it. Kind of like the Freddy redo. I was okay with it. You know, I mean, it's not the greatest, but it's all right. This isn't good at all. I'm gonna watch it again with my daughter here. It's the only one we haven't seen. She loves Jason. I'll have to watch this. But yeah, The Final Friday. Yeah, not so good. Great cover. That wraps it up, guys. Thanks for joining me today. I really do appreciate it. Stay tuned for more thrift haul videos, Blu-ray reviews, slasher rewind when we go chronologically through the 80s slashers, DVD, Blu-ray collection updates, stuff like that. Please leave some comments below. Do hit the subscribe button so you know when the next videos are coming out. Greatly appreciate it. And have a good day, guys. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.